Crazy.
Be like that.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Friday Special Podcast. I'm your host, Friday, aka 1K, aka the Visionary, and we back with another one. Right here, we got my man Wayne Panton, 11-year service veteran. I'm retiring in 8 months.
8 months?
Yeah.
Yep.
Online fitness coach, and fitness enthusiast, father, husband, everything. What's your MOS?
19 Yankee. Yep.
19 Yankee.
Logistics.
Yep. Unit supply.
Mm-hmm.
So, just to get right into it, the fitness thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where did it start?
You trying to go deep, like way back?
Well, I kind of just want to know, like, I mean, we're gonna get there, but I kind of just want to know, like, where did it start? Yeah.
To be honest, it started back when I was a jit. So I'm from Boynton Beach, Florida. Mm-hmm. So down in that Florida area, everybody's big into sports.
Yep.
So I started off a lot on the streets, just pick up football with friends. Throw them up, bust them up. I don't know what other people call it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's where it started back for me when it comes to just being an athlete. Did the same thing in high school, played football in high school, running back, receiver, corner. And then when it started specifically gym-wise, when I joined the military, so 11 years ago.
11 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Found a gym.
So me personally, I find this topic like really. I really like this topic because I come from similar background. I've been playing sports all my life. You know what I'm saying? I joined the military, and then I was like, man, at some point I was like working out all the time, and then people start to notice, and then they saying this and that. I'm not cut like you, but yeah, I was like, man, like I want to like get into that space. But you said you're from Florida, right?
Yep.
Right. What sports did you play growing up?
So growing up, I played. Were we talking about high school, or are you just talking about just in general?
Yeah.
So I did football, did basketball, did baseball, did track, did wrestling.
I mean, he did everything.
Yeah, man. So if it was up to me, I would have just did football. But I had a coach, Coach Lowe. He was almost like a mentor for me because I didn't have my dad really in my life a lot back then. My dad got deported and sent back to Jamaica, so he wasn't really there for me on a day-to-day basis. My mom worked a lot. She worked at the hospital, so she was gone from 6 in the morning to 8 at night. So I was by myself a lot. So in school, I had my mentor per se, which was my coach. He kind of was like, look, you have a lot of potential. And because of how short I was, he was like, I gotta work 10 times harder than everyone else. So he was the one that pushed me into every sport possible. So for instance, wrestling. I ain't got no business wrestling.
I hate wrestling.
I ain't got no business wrestling. But he was
wrestling.
like, look, we need you to be more physical. All right, we need you to go in there and stay active throughout the whole year. So if football wasn't going on, I was doing another sport. So he was the one that kind of pushed me to do the other activities, and I just happened to just do good in them all.
You said that growing up you didn't really have your father.
No.
Or you just said that he had to go away.
He had to go away. So it was just me and my mom for the most part. So my mom and dad split once we moved because I was originally born in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
And they split apart. He had some issue something happened back to him with him back in like the first year or two of when I was born. So he ended up getting locked up. Once he got locked up, they deported him back to Jamaica. Like, yo, you can't come back for X amount of years. I don't remember how much the years was.
Yeah.
So once he left, my mom moved us down to Florida to live closer to my grandmother. So I spent a lot of time there. Me and him talked on the phone here and there, but he had his whole family, his whole life. He ended up becoming a pastor down there in Jamaica, and I visited him probably twice. There's probably twice my mom, she kind of just sent me down there to kind of, meet him and see everything. Great guy. I loved my father. He just wasn't there because of the situation that happened to him in the past, and he was trying his best to rebuild it. And as soon as we started to get close, I remember I was in Korea at the time. I was stationed in Korea, and um, he he was trying to rebuild our relationship from a distance. Obviously, it got to the point where he was just like, I'm already established here. He can't come to me. So I had told him, I like, hey, I got my wife and kids. I want you to meet. Literally that year that I was supposed to go take my family down there to go meet him, he passed away in
Oh,
a
my
car
condolences.
accident. Yeah. So it was tough. It was tough growing up without him, but I had that coach that was there that kind of helped guide me through life from a sports aspect. It's kind of like the sum up for everything.
Well, my condolences.
Appreciate it.
So, did you ever have dreams of like going pro with the sports?
I did. I did, and I laugh about it now
Mm-hmm.
because I had I I let other people's limiting beliefs stop me from continuing on that path. I want to say it was so when I got to high school, my freshman year I didn't do anything. My freshman year, I just kind of was just watching everybody do their thing. But I had a
Yeah.
few homeboys who were on the football team. So at the end of their season, I went out on the football field. Now I'm just kicking it with them, throwing the ball around or whatever. And I had this coach. He see me, Coach Uccellini. I don't know why I remember his name, but
Mm-hmm.
he see me throw the ball and he was like, "Oh, you got a good arm." He was like, "You should come to the next tryouts or whatever." I'm just like,
This sounds like something out of a movie. Y'all sit there playing, and then
"Yeah,
you like, oh yeah, you man, that's a. And then you just start, and then you become a football star.
man." It was so random. It was so
That's
random. It was
crazy.
Coach Uccellini, white guy, just happy as hell all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "Come try." I was like, "All right." My homeboy, he was like, "Oh shit, come on, you should come out." Blah, blah. I'm like, "Nah, man, I ain't got no business being out here." Cause
Yeah.
this, now I'm talking about this. This is varsity we talking about now. Cause my
Yeah.
homeboy was on a varsity team,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm a freshman and he was a sophomore. So I'm like, I don't know. Okay, whatever. So I came out, got out
Mm-hmm.
there. My head coach, the one I told you was my mentor, he saw me and he was like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "I'm Wayne." He was like, "Okay, what are you doing out here?" And so I was like, "Yo, that coach over there told me to show up practice." And he was like, he told you to come over here. Now this he was originally at the time focused on the quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, "You coming to play quarterback?" And I was like, "Well, that's what he told me. He told me to come over here by the quarterbacks."
Mm-hmm.
He looked up and he looked at me. He looked me up and down, and he was like, "All right." So from there we went through like a piece of the practice, throwing the ball
Mm-hmm.
around and stuff. And he was just like, "Yeah, you're not a quarterback. Go over there with the corners."
Yeah.
And that's kind of just where that started. I'm not going to go too deep, but um, that's how I got on the field. And then from
Mm-hmm.
there, my just athletic ability and playing from when I was a kid ended up getting me a spot on the varsity team in sophomore year as a corner slash slot receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I thought I was going to go somewhere, but as the years progressed, just between me just playing the game and realizing like, yo, I got to put on a certain amount of weight.
Mm-hmm.
Being on a varsity team and you're around these other players, as a smaller guy, you realize like, yo, this is not no little guy's game.
Yeah.
And I was real small back then, man. On top, not only was I short, I was real skinny.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't much to get me down, but I was fast. I was quick. That was my, advantage then.
Yeah. Your thing.
But literally, I want to say it was my junior year where a lot of people were saying, once you get to college, like, unless you're just extremely fast, you need to put on some weight. You only get so much
Yeah.
taller. So I just had a lot of limiting beliefs that the other people was putting on me that end up
Mm-hmm.
kind of just like, all right, maybe I'm not going to be good enough to make it in that, in college. Maybe I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to be good enough to do, this dream of joining the league one day. And then, I started doing research of like the sizes of the other,
Yeah.
players. And I'm just like, yo, I'm nowhere near that. So between them putting their limiting beliefs on me,
Mm-hmm.
me feeding into it, I was just like, nah, let me just go get a regular job like everybody else. And I was like, yeah, kind of just let that dream die.
Yeah, man, it's kind of a hard realization. I feel like everyone who's played sports, except for a select few, has gone through something like this. Like I know I have, because I played football in high school. Don't get me wrong, I barely saw the field, but I still went out there every year, all 4 years, and gave it what I had. And then there's like there's that time where it's like senior year, and then you're looking at like, okay, am I gonna go to college to play or not? And then you just have that realization is like, okay, yeah, yeah, it ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? I was in the same boat. Junior or senior year came around, and then uh, I was playing, and then it was just like, man, I hate this. I ain't gonna lie, I hated going to practice. Like I didn't even really want it bad enough.
What was your position? What were you playing?
O line,
O-line?
right guard.
Okay.
Yeah, right and left guard. I hated it.
I
At
feel
every
you.
practice, I don't know why I was just so bad at remembering plays.
Plays is tough.
Yeah,
It's
I
tough.
was horrible at remembering plays, and I don't know, I would just mess it up every time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, the playbooks, it can get tough for everybody.
yeah, especially when you're like a guard, because guards have to do a lot of pulling around and blocking and all that. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
The line is a hard job.
yeah. So yeah, I had to just to let that die, and then after it's like, okay, I'm gonna go to work, and then you start going to the gym, and then what? You know what I'm saying? So after did you join like right after high school, or you waited
Yeah.
a little
You
bit?
you want the story behind that?
Yeah.
How much time we got? I'll make it a
Let's
simple
see.
story.
Let's see. All right.
I can make sure I'm on track with
No,
your
no, you
questions and
you
everything.
good, you good. See, I have this here, but it's like it's like points that I want to hit. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like, oh, we need to stick to this, because
Okay.
then it's like it's not conversation.
Station. Okay.
Yeah. So
That's-
if it veers off, then it is what it is.
Just reel me in, all right? Cause I tell you,
Yeah,
I
yeah, I
can
got
I
you.
can get to talking whenever I just know I just gone through a lot, and I don't know. I haven't been on the platform to really tell my story or really say what I got going on.
Yeah.
So when people ask, obviously, like the people who know me, like we in the house or at a kickback or something, and they get to asking. Sometimes I surprise myself when I hear the shit I say, and I be like, oh shit, I went through this, or this how my life was. 'Cause you don't really get a whole lot of time to tell your story. It wasn't until I
Yeah.
started doing my online shit now where I have a platform to speak. Before then, I was just living. I didn't have to tell nobody my story. My wife knew what I was doing. My kids, they don't really care. They just living their life. And then friends, when we got together, it was mostly drinking and bullshit. And so,
Yeah.
but to get back to your question, um, it was a time. So in my senior year, right? So my senior year, I ran to my wife. Cause me and my wife been together since my sophomore year. We've been together since 2012. Married since 20. We've been together since 2011, but got married in 2013. So I joined
Okay.
in 2013. So in my senior year, now I had stopped playing football. By that time, my senior year, I was already kind of like checked out.
Yeah.
And I was also very focused on my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time. It was just me and her skipping school.
So y'all high
Fucking,
school sweethearts.
yeah, high school sweethearts, man. Yeah, holding it
That's
down.
amazing.
11 years now.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it. So me and her just doing our thing. I was barely at school. I'm not gonna lie to you. We was always out doing our own thing. And it was funny because I had a math teacher who saw the path I was going down, and he loved me as a student. Like, if she see this, she gonna be mad as fuck. So
Hey, she might in the future. Hey, look, this gonna be there for a while. Look,
but you see this, don't be too mad. I warned you that I might start talking and let it go, let it ride. But whatever. So before me and her really got together, I was really good in school. Like I probably had I had a high 3 point something GPA. GPA. I was doing very well in school because I didn't have much to really go with. I wasn't really a extrovert back in high school. Like I said, I grew up by myself for real, so I was very comfortable with being by myself. I had one little group of Jamaican guys who will link up, and it was like 3 or 4 of us. That was it. Besides them, I didn't really talk to anyone. So I would literally go to school, focus on school, get my ass on the bus, and go back home. And then I didn't really have a lot going on. So had a teacher, he kind of seen how I was going my high school year. He was like, I wasn't showing up. My fucking GPA was dropping. I was doing bad in school. I wasn't showing up. I was doing everything that you consider a badass kid would do at the time. But I was just focused on her at the time. Just like, hey, look, I got a girlfriend now. She's my first and only girlfriend. So at the time, I didn't, I'm pouring everything into her.
Yeah.
So my high school year, it was about her, and it was about going to this job I had called my buddy Trevor. He got me a job called at Bud's Chicken and Seafood. It was only spot in Florida. I don't think they have another location anywhere else, but besides in like down South Florida area. But I worked there, spent time with her, and that was it. So at the end of my high school year, graduated and everything, I had an uncle. His name is Sammy. He asked me, what are you gonna do now? You about to be out of high school? What's next? And I was like,
question.
huh?
Said the magic question.
Yeah, and I was like, what's next? He was like, what's next? I was like, shit, I don't know. And he was like, you wanna go to school? And I was like, not really, to be honest. He's like, do you think you should go to school? And I was like, yeah, I should go, but I know if I went to school right now, I wouldn't do well. So, I put in a couple applications. I think I had got accepted into like Bethune or something like that. And at that time, my wife, she had got accepted into FAMU. And I think that was a real, like, slap at the time, like a wake-up call. Like, yo, the girl that you spent all this time with, she's about to go to FAMU. I didn't get into FAMU. I got into Bethune, and Bethune they were both 2 places away from each other. So I was like, damn, I'm really about to go to college without you. And I was like, oh, I don't really like that. So I went through this real depression because I didn't want to go to school. The girl who I'm with and been with, she got accepted into FAMU. I don't have no real guidance on what I should be doing. So when me and him talked, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And he was like, what do you mean you don't know? Like, you can't just sit around here and not do nothing. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what he was doing at the time, but now he's on business owner. I think he does like he has like ultrasound machines and stuff like this.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so at the time he was a go-getter. Like I knew he was somebody he was by his business at the time. So he was like, all right, don't worry about it. He's like, I got you. I want to say maybe 2 to 3 weeks after that, he came to the house, he picked me up. And I think I'm going to his house because normally we'll go play basketball on the weekends with him and his friends. He grabbed me and he took me to a recruiting station. I'm like, what am I doing here? And he was like, either you go to college or you go to the military. You pick one. Because you're not going to sit at your mom's house and not do nothing. And I was like, wow. Well, I was like, well, I don't want to go to school. So I was like, let me see what they're talking about in here. And that's I went inside, and they sold me the dream. They sold me the dream.
Yeah, they told you.
Man,
they gave the sauce.
They gave me. Hey,
To
this day, I wish I remembered the recruiter who was there, so I can talk shit, but thank him at the same time. Cause I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for me joining. So I'm grateful for that, but I'm mad because he had me pick a job that wasn't in alignment with me from the jump. So, which wasn't logistic at the time. I originally joined as an MP, military police.
Oh wow.
Yes, but when I joined, he asked me like what I wanted to do, and I was like, I just want to be hands-on. I don't know what I want to do. I don't even know why I'm here, but I know I don't want to go to college.
They love to hear that.
Yeah, so he was just like, oh yeah, you don't work your hands, okay. And then I don't know the young me. I don't know what made military police stand out to me, but that's what I chose, and that what kind of got me in the door for the military. And you want me to keep going or?
No, you
okay.
You can keep going.
All right, so boom, joined the military. Now, coming from Florida, I joined February 12th of 2013.
Yeah.
When I joined, I'm leaving from Florida. In December, I was outside in a tank top playing football, going around with the family members. And in February, I got off the bus at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. You ever been to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri?
No.
Fort Lawson Woods. Cold as hell. I got off the bus. My first time ever seeing snow. First time meeting a drill sergeant, coming off the bus, slipping bust my ass on some ice with like 3-4 bags, getting yelled at. Talking about culture shock, I was like, I fucked up. I was like, yeah, I fucked up.
Oh man,
I was like, I
it's
can't.
so funny. It's like everybody got that. Everybody got that same like, cause I had the same realization. I got off the bus. I'm like, I just ruined my life.
Yep.
Like
Right
I
into
just
Shark
ruined
Attack. That Shark
yeah.
Attack joint when they had it. They don't got it no
Yeah,
more
they
though.
don't even do that no more.
It's different now.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I got one of my battles. She does it, and yeah, they don't even do that no more. Yeah, I feel like it done got a little, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
Yeah. So yeah, that was like that culture shock. But so I did OSET there. You know, I stayed the whole time there. Literally did training there, and I got stationed there right after too. So it was trash. But kind of fast forward a little bit. I did my first 8 years as an MP. Now my first 4 years, I was doing. You know anything about the SRT or the Special Reaction Team? So if you don't know, there used to be what they call a Special Reaction Team. It was kind of like a side job for MPs. So what they would do is it's kind of like how the regular world civilian life, they have the SWAT team.
Oh,
The
okay.
MPs had their own SWAT team. So if there was like hostage negotiating situations or if there's an active shooter, that was what me and my team would go and respond to. So my first 4 years, all I did was train. I learned how to just clear rooms, learn how to shoot the 720, which is like the sniper rifle.
Yeah.
I literally spent every day going to the gym, clearing rooms, and shooting, and just hanging out with like a small group of guys. Did that literally every day for 4 years. Loved it. That's why I still was MP at the time. Boom, left Missouri, went to Korea. Got to Korea, they no longer had that option. So, but because of me already being in that job, they end up pulling me to the protective services team. So then I spent another 3 years, three and a half years doing protective services for a 4-star general out in Korea.
Oh, okay.
That was cool. You know, I was driving around in the suit, had a pistol on me, radio, driving around up armored cars around Korea, flying, you know, helicopters and shit. Great. Had a fun time. Working for a black 4-star general at that. It was an experience. I was in some rooms that I shouldn't have been in. So shout out to that.
That sounds smooth though.
Yeah,
it
was dope.
So, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
Go ahead. So I really want to ask you about, not to digress too hard, but I really want to ask you about like the online fitness.
Okay.
So, where are you at with that now?
So now I'm sitting at roughly 13 to 14 clients right now. And everybody's getting results. Everyone has a good time. It's a very rewarding space to be in. Because a lot of people right now would probably tell you, I need an in-person training coach, or I need someone to train me in person because I can't get results online. And it's so far from the truth. And when I come home or when I'm at work and I look at my phone and I see my clients reaching out to me saying, you know, how much they appreciate the effort I put into the training and the efforts I put into their workouts, their nutrition, and their accountability. Yeah. Right. So once I decided that I was gonna, you know, switch over and start doing online training, I started back in 2023, but everything was a learning lesson because I ended up deploying, and when I did the deployment, it kind of slowed down the whole process. So I've been back now from the deployment for about 7 months, and I had to restart everything. I got back, I had no clients because I had no service when I was deployed.
You couldn't even do anything.
So I couldn't reach out to none of my clients then. So the service was bad, and I was still trying to figure out what the hell and how to do it. I had the knowledge. I got certified. I've trained people in person, but I didn't know how to bring that online. So I ended up getting a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
And my mentor, he's out of Canada actually. His name is Brian. It's two of them. It's Brian and Cole. Two great guys. Um, and, and I just started implementing everything that they were teaching once I got back here.
Okay.
So let's say it's been about 7, 8 months roughly. Um, and they gave me everything I needed to build my program.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is through an app. So it's custom workouts to tailor to the individual. Same thing with nutrition coaching. I
Mm-hmm.
like macro-based dieting because I don't like having to restrict people.
Yeah.
Just to be honest, most people, they can't stay on a diet. A diet's hard.
Yeah.
Anybody
Yeah. Most
who
people cannot
they can't.
cannot like stay on a diet.
They can't. And the thing is, a lot of people feel like they need one. A lot of people
Mm-hmm.
reach out, hey, could you make me a meal plan? Could you make me a meal plan? I'm like, can you track your food for a day? Can you do that?
Yeah.
Before I sit down and build you a meal plan, can you track your food for the day? Can you do something as simple as that? No. If you can't track your food for a day, how do I expect you to follow a meal? How do I expect for you to go get Tupperware,
Mm-hmm.
go buy all the groceries, cook all the food, and then come back and eat the food and not eat the food that you want to eat?
Yeah.
And I fight that. I fight that to this day. Everybody wants a meal plan. I'm like, yo, I can create one for you. Are you gonna follow it though? Have you had one before? Okay, you had one before. So what's the difference between then and now? So I like macro based dieting, and I like that because you can still eat the foods you want.
Yeah.
All it is staying in a caloric deficit. That's it. But a lot of people, they just stuck on this mindset because they hear other people are meal planning and meal prepping. Those people probably have a different goal. People who are trying to get on stage, people who are trying to get real cut, those people are meal prepping. Those people are eating the same
Mm-hmm.
boring food every day.
Yeah. So I looked on your Instagram, which I'm gonna put his Instagram right here. I'm gonna put it like right here so you guys can see it for like a split second. But anyway,
Yeah.
so I see you on there, you know, and I was looking at some of your posts, and I see you on there posing. You know what I'm saying? So is that like something that you personally like want to get into,
Yes. So
like about like doing an actual like competition?
competition. Yeah, I do. I've been trying to get. I've actually been trying to get on stage for years.
Oh wow,
But
okay.
every time a show came up or I was trying to get on there, um, the military found a way to shut it down somehow. I literally was supposed to get on stage like 6 months ago.
Oh wow.
But anybody who's in the second brigade, shout out to second brigade. We had a field cycle for a whole month of October. And then I
Dang.
have a coach. So I have two mentors, but I also have a coach.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a coach. I feel like everybody should have a coach or a mentor to speed up the process for everything.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic, get into another day. Um, and my coach was like, yeah, he's like, because I'm gonna be in the field for October, my diet is not gonna be on point, and my show is gonna be in November. So he was like, he doesn't want me to go into the field for a whole month and then come out and try to get on stage because of how strict the diet is needing to be, and he wanted me to go straight into a show right after.
Yeah.
He was like, it's not worth it. He was like, this would have been my first show, and he was like, yeah, I'm cutting now. Yeah, I could probably
Mm-hmm.
get on stage and do some damage, but he's like, the first time he wanted me to get on stage, he wants me to take the fuck over. And he's like, yo, you got the potential to do it. He just like, right now wouldn't have been the time. And then there was two other times before then. One I had got deployed. The other time I was in Korea and ended up having to extend in Korea for another job. So the
Just all over
military
the
just,
place.
man, every time I decide I want to do it, it does. Now it could you say it's excuses? You could, but
Possibly. I
yeah,
mean, I think it goes. I mean, yeah, you can make excuses, but at the same time, it's like if you get deployed, I mean, that,
yeah,
that's that's literally like that's you. There's literally nothing you can do about that.
at all.
Like, quite frankly, there's nothing. If you get sent to the field, you know, and for all the military people that's watching, you understand, you
Hmm.
know. I mean, there's a I think that there's a fine line between making excuses and you know just having a life.
Yeah,
So no, I wouldn't really count that as an excuse.
yeah.
So what is your majority dynamic like? So when I was looking on your page, and I was looking at your reels, all the ones that I've seen, you know, is like ladies. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So is it like mostly women that you're trying to help,
Yep. So
or that reach out and want the help? I'll put it like
it's a
that.
mix between both, right? Um, when I first started, my mentors was like, hey, pick a niche. Anybody who's into business, anything, like I'm pretty sure your podcast is probably some kind of niche
Yeah.
specific. There's certain people you're looking for,
Mhm.
a certain audience, your avatar. He's like, I need to pick one. So for anybody, especially I know now a lot of people want to get into social media. You want to target a specific audience when you are posting on social media because you don't want to be a generalist, you want to be a specialist. So I didn't want to talk to everybody because I didn't want to have to go against the whole world. There's a lot of coaches out there,
Yeah.
and everybody can say they're good at everything, and I didn't want to confuse anyone when they came to me. So what he had me do was kind of break down uh, who I was currently working with and who I worked with before. I
Mhm.
normally work with majority women. The reason being because, for one, men have ego issues. Men have this ego, this
Mhm.
complex thing going on with them where they don't listen, or they're afraid to commit for some reason.
Mhm.
So and they just have a lot of excuses. Just keep it a buck.
Hey, keep
Just
it
keep it a
G. Keep
buck.
it a
I've
G.
I've I've worked out a lot. Most men feel like they don't need the help. Most men feel like I can do it on my own. And then when I talk to these dudes, the ones that I worked out with, majority of them would say, all right, I don't need a workout plan. I just need someone to hold me accountable or whatever. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. In the beginning stage, I was just trying it out just to see who would do the work or not.
Mhm.
The guys will always reach out with excuses. Oh, it's too hard to log my food. Oh, I missed the workout today because I was partying on the weekends. Or their mindset wasn't the same as the women, because when the women, it's the why behind it all.
Yeah.
Between the why and the ego, the women put the ego aside because they are trying to better themselves for their kids, their health.
Mhm.
Men, a lot of them were trying to do it because they just want to look better,
They
or
trying to look
they
good.
just want to look good, or they just want to get this girl, or they just want to do it because everyone else is doing it. Their reasonings between the two was
Yeah.
was so different. I'm able to reach them at a different level, and they just were easier clients. So I was like, okay, cool. I talked to my mentor. I was like, look, to be honest, I have male clients,
Mhm.
and I only take male clients when they serious. If I'm on the consultation call and I'm talking to them, if they have a real why to why they're doing what they're doing or why they want to get into the gym,
Mhm.
normally it's something around their health or their family, their kids or whatever. Normally those are the guys who I take in and I'm like, yo, I got you. Now, when it comes to the women, they just have someone, like, I'll be on the phone with them and some of them will be crying because of how much they want to change, and it's like a mindset thing. So when I went to
Yeah.
my mentor, I was like, I did a little assessment between the guys and the girls. The women work harder, they're more consistent, and they have a strong reason of why they want to do what they want to do.
Mm.
And I've also grown up with majority women. I grew up with my mom, obviously. I have my wife, and I have a lot of aunties. So I didn't
Mm.
really grow up around a whole bunch of males. And I know how hard they work, and I respect them so much.
Mhm.
So I just think naturally I just gravitated towards the women and how hard they work and how much I respect that. And it shows in the results because I have so
Mhm.
many women who have put in the work every day. Like when I open up, my app or my dashboard on my app, and I can see
Yeah.
the daily tasks that's getting done. The women don't miss. The women don't miss, and then when they don't miss, they get results. I believe if you don't track, you slack. You have to track everything. Any business owner is going to track their KPIs. Like you're going to track the daily things to move the
Mhm.
needle, and you
I
don't miss.
definitely believe that. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I'm gonna just put myself out there. I have been in that boat because I told myself I wanted to compete
Mm-hmm.
a while back. It was back in like 2022 before I got sent to Poland. I was like, man, I want to compete. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been lifting for like 8-9 years.
Oh yeah, you in there.
First with football, and then I actually started to actually lift to hit all my muscle groups. I want to say like 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
Right. So, because this is different between like football lifting and like going to the gym and building your body.
Build a body, yep.
Yeah, there was a huge difference, and it was kind of a learning curve for me. And then I was going, and then I was like, man, I was watching Greg Doucette. I'm telling
That dude's
you.
different. Hey, he's different. That man's a trip. But you know his
He
shit.
is, man. I love Greg Doucette,
Yeah,
man. I
man.
love Greg Doucette. I be watching that dude all the time. But
Stay snapping on YouTube.
yeah, man, for real. And then I was like, man, I want to try to compete. You know what I'm saying? Not only because I want to look better, just because. But there goes that reason again, just because I want to look better. But like, I just seen it as a goal. I'm like, I feel like I can do that. So then I started working towards it. I went to the store, got my ingredient or got my stuff, the meal prep, and all this stuff, and I was like, at the time I was being a little ignorant to the fact that I needed a coach, you know, because I didn't have a coach, and there was a dude that came along. There was another dude who was also doing it, and he gave me his coach's number. And he reached out. I reached out to him, and I was just like, man, like, he's telling me the stuff that he can do to help me, and I'm just like, man, I feel like I can just do that
Do
myself.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here I am. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do it myself. So I definitely see what you're talking about when you say that, because I have found myself doing that. Yeah, man. Like, I mean, I'm not too big on making excuses. I hate when people make
Same.
excuses.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
That kind of stuff pisses me off. I hate when people make excuses.
Yep.
I like when people take full responsibility for your actions. You know, if you didn't meet the goal that you wanted to meet, you need to sit here and be like, you know, there was no one's fault but my own.
No facts.
So yeah. Moving on from that, do you power lift?
Do I power lift? Nah.
Because you are strong. And look, man, this dude was lifted 315, and I'm sitting here. I was watching the video. I'm gonna have to put it right here. This man was doing 315, and I'm like, oh, he's definitely gonna probably get that like once or twice. Yeah, but no, man.
Yeah,
How many times? It was like 5.
I think on the video it was 5 times, but I did like 4 sets of that. I think that was in Poland. I was actually
crazy.
Yeah, I think I was at a weak point in Poland too, because of the food out there was trash, and we was always training, so I wasn't even really strong at that. If I'm thinking about the video you're talking about,
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I was at a point where I was ripping out 315 for like 8 to 10. That video, I think I did like 5.
That is crazy to me.
And I don't necessarily power lift. You ever seen a dude on YouTube named Russ Woe? Black guy, bald head.
Yes.
He's like deep in the powerlifting.
Yeah, I love that dude.
So he has a work ethic or a method called power building. And I think I don't know if he's still doing it.
I've heard him say that before.
Yeah,
because I watch his videos too.
And I like that idea. So what I do now, I like to start my list with compound movements. So bench, deadlift, squats. And I like to lift as heavy as I can. And then I go into, you know, the bodybuilding aspect of the workouts and, you know, building the money. Now I lean more towards the bodybuilding, but I love lifting heavy shit. I just always, I think it was just for the idea of me just being a smaller guy. I always like to challenge myself. Like, and I work really, really hard. So I push myself when I'm in there. So I mix the two. I go in there, when I have the most energy, I lift as heavy as I can get with the best form as possible. And after that, I break it down to what I love to do, which is kind of like more of like sculpting the body and the bodybuilding aspect of things. But there was a time where, man, I was just trying to I think it was the first time I did a 1,000-pound challenge. I did it in Korea. And I think there what I realized though, like, yo, I'm strong as fuck. Like, and I didn't realize
Yeah.
it until a buddy of me brought it up, and he was like, yo, look at everybody else in here, and you're the only one hitting this weight. Like, I went over 1,000 pounds. I think I did like 1,200 pounds at that time, and it was other people was realizing it that made me see it. 'Cause I didn't see. I'm thinking I'm just out here lifting, bro. Like it is what it is. And then they were like, "Yo, you benching, 355, you deadlifting over 500 pounds, you squatting over 400 pounds." And I'm just like, I see people doing way more than that. People in the gym see more than that. Yeah,
Exactly.
If you've been once you in the gym for a while, you see other guys just doing that shit. I know guys who are small, way smaller than I am, putting on more weight than I am. And
Yeah, and people that don't lift, they look at that and they're like, "Oh man, like you were just Hercules."
Yeah.
But like I'm a part of the lifting community. So me doing this is like, man, that's cool. It's cool that I'm doing that, but then this dude is over here with 6 plates on that joint and he's sitting here just going. I'm like,
Yep.
that is crazy.
Yep.
Like I don't know why bench press for me has been a struggle.
Yeah.
It's been
Taller
a struggle.
guy, long arms.
Like doing 315, I don't know why. It's just been a struggle. So I finally got to the point where I went for a 1 rep max of 315 and I was feeling so good this day. And I hate when people like spot bad, you know what I'm saying?
Bro, I fuck everything up.
Like it messes up my whole mind, and I'm like,
don't touch the bar.
This is my rep. I did 315, boom, off the chest, smooth. It's coming up, but you get to that point where sometimes you might like stop and then slowly come up.
Yep.
I got like right here, and then I was slowly coming up, and they just
bro, I hate to see it.
And then I tried it again and I missed it.
Yeah, you didn't already put all your energy into it now.
Yeah, I was like, man. So
a spotter can really mess some things up for you. You gotta have the right spotter. Cause me, I ain't picking it up until it goes back down.
Yeah.
Unless it goes back down, I ain't touching that.
Yeah, I can't, man. That's
tough.
Crazy.
That's tough. You're not gonna hit the second time because you already mentally like, dang, bro, I had that. That's when you get up and you square up like, yo, what's up?
Yeah, man. It's like I want to turn around and smack you. Like, man, like, what is you doing? Like,
yo, I hate that.
I just ruined my whole day.
I hate that. But no, that's the bench press is normally most people's weak point, except for us shorter guys. We don't have as far to go. But I used to really understand and used to like sympathize with the people. Like, oh, get it, you tall, man, you got long. But I have a homeboy, he's like 6'4", and he's benching way over 3 plates.
Exactly. So I don't really want to use that as an excuse.
Yeah, so I'll be like, I'm just. But that's when I go to just asking people like, how many times a week? I don't know now, but at the time, how often were you training chest?
So at that time, I was training 3 times a week, chest 3 times a week.
3 times a week, and what would a regular set or
So I was doing. Man, it would vary, but it was more like it was actually a workout plan that I got from Russ Swole, where it was like a powerlifting something, but it was progressively like increasing the percentage and the reps like week to week, and it would be like 4 sets of 7 of like 75%, stuff like that, and then just increasing like the next week maybe 3 sets of 6 at 80%, stuff like that.
You was doing what you're supposed to be doing. You just had to keep going at that point.
Yeah.
Like if you had told me some other shit, like you was doing, 3 sets of like 12. That's the part a lot of people do. They'll do like 3 sets of 10 to 12, and the weight won't be like it'll be something, but it ain't. It's not heavy enough. But they don't go heavy enough because it's not. They're trying to get to that 10 to 12 rep range. But I like this. I like to for people who want to get a stronger bench. I like to have them sit at a between a 5 to 7 rep range with some heavy shit with a heavy load. That's the only way because your body is going to just get used to a certain weight. But if you don't use progressive overload, and I'm talking about for men, we can jump in weight. For women, I don't really have them jump in weight. But for men, how often have you seen a guy or yourself walk to the gym? You put on a plate, and then you put on another plate. And then I've seen people, they go up by plates because we can go up with more plates as men.
Yep.
And when we stay in the lower rep range, you can add heavier shit. Like that's how he had you at the 75%. Like I was a big believer with 5x5s. That was my thing. 5 sets, 5 reps.
Yeah, 5x5.
That's what got me to a higher bench, I feel like. Now, there could be bro science out there. There can be real science out there. I don't know about any else's science, but for me, that's what I did. And that's what I tell anybody I know who wants to build a bigger bench, 5x5. And you need a spot for your last set because you need to have try to gone up in weight. Every time you go in the gym, you have to up the weight. You have to because your body get used to whatever it's been doing for the long period of time. So if I go in the gym every day and do 315, my body's going to stay there. I'm not going to get no better. I got a 320, 325, 330. Get a spotter and break out of the comfort zone for everything in life.
All right, so let me ask you this right before we go. How bad on a scale of 1 to 10 when you go in the gym, how bad on a scale of 1 to 10 do you feel like you want to correct people when you see them doing something that is just completely like, it's like, what is that?
Yo, it's like, it depends, right? Because I'm one of those dudes who walk in the gym with blindfolds. Not blindfolds, but with like,
tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision, yeah, tunnel vision. I walk in and I focus on me. I get in, get out. Like I don't really bullshit when I be in the gym. The only time I see this shit and it grinds my gears is if I'm in a military gym or if I'm on a trip or I'm traveling and I end up in like Anytime Fitness or a Planet Fitness and I be seeing stuff and I'm just like, what is going on over there? And I'll look at it and I'll be like, yo, he doing that mad wrong. But I'll like, teach his own. He must know something I don't know. He just know something I don't know. But I sit there and I'll be like, so what is he working now? Should I go over there and say something? I be in my head thinking, I'm like, the coach in me want to be like, all right, let me go over there and help him out and like show him like, hey, this is how you do it. Or do I just not say anything and just let him be? So I go through that all the time because I know what the proper form is supposed to look like. But I do understand there's so many variations and ways to do things. There was a time I did go up to somebody and try to correct him on his form, but he was doing the workout a certain way because of an injury that he had. So it was like, oh look, my bad, bro.
I actually didn't think about that. Yeah. I've never thought about that.
I was like, yeah, I was like, oh shit, that's why you're doing that. My bad. I just normally know this is how you're supposed to do it. I didn't know you had a ACL issue or whatever. My bad. He was like, no, you good. He was just like, because of my injury, I have to do things a certain way, but I'm trying to rebuild it. So that's why it looks weird. So I'm just like, so ever since then, I kind of try to pick and choose, who I feel like really need it. Now, if it looks weird, I normally leave the weird ones alone. But if it's completely wrong, then I'll probably stop like, hey, look, you mind if I show you a different way to do that?
Yeah.
And normally they'll be like, yeah, and I'll kind of just break down like the proper form or the proper way to do it. Because I don't want no one to get hurt. I got homeboys who the med board out in the military because of injuries, especially when it comes to those fucking deadlifts and lifting wrong. So when I see it, I don't want no one else to get hurt or have to, go through that depression or go through that hard time because of doing a workout wrong and I seen it and let it happen. Kind of just being in the military, we see a lot of stuff and we're supposed to say something because the person doing something wrong, that person can end up injuring themselves or someone else. So I try my best to say something when I can, but majority of the time when I'm in there for me, It's me time. I'm in there. I don't care what no one else doing. The whole gym could be under fire. But if I'm in there and saying that, hey, I'm about to get this work done, I'm locked in. Headphones in, focus.
Yeah.
I don't go in the gym and bullshit. Like, you come in the gym, you see me, you might get a good 2-minute conversation out of me.
Yeah,
catch
I'm
me
the
at the
same
end of
way.
my workout.
I'm the same way. I try to just, people come up, I'm like, yeah, what's up? All right, boom.
Yeah, be
I'm
locked
just
in.
walk away.
Yeah, people tell me all the time. I be like, hey, they be like, P don't be. I'm like, look, it ain't. I don't mess with you, bro. But I'm coming here on a mission. I'm on a mission, and I walk in. And that's lonely when anytime I walk into any door, I'm on a mission, for real, for real.
On a mission.
So.
All right, man. Once again, appreciate you for coming through.
For sure, G.
So we're gonna have to cut it short. Cut it for right now, but most likely I'm gonna have to come get a part 2 with my man. You know, because I feel like there's a lot that has to be unpacked.
Facts.
You know, that is not gonna be able to get unpacked because I'm running out of time. I'm being very transparent. I'm not gonna hide it. I'm in this studio and I'm out of time. But if you made it this far in the video, not only do I appreciate you, but I love you. I'm gonna be leaving his Instagram and his link to his Instagram and his coaching page in the bio. Not to mention, I'll have his Instagram right there above his head. And appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. We out.
Yes, sir.